give it using a string join command. So store in variable, the new variable is str, give a store in same value in join to array of string. The same variable to split it. So create another one string is give a name is array of string and split it. So my variable is my is separate in tiny word and print it. Another join in join in same words, but I want to remove the simple elements. I remove in is. So how to it work? So string element is split to I remove in is. So third element. So remove my name is my name Mona. Print it.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I was just seeing that how you are splitting a single character. So on based on what you have been splitted that. My name is that. So string string A in parts of array of string. So array of string, you didn't give anything. Okay. Okay, that's where it was printed in AME. Okay.
I think that split doesn't have space. That's why. That's the reason.
Yeah. Because if you given the space, then it will go for my name is. So that then that it will come. But as she didn't given the space, she has been it has been splitted on the individual characters. But
so
my
individual character, the space is used. So give a individual character my space n space I give it.
Got it, Mona.
Yeah.
One thing is I was seeing here is that is M why it was not
Give a split command to is removed. The
that we understand,
change in name give it and to is given a name remove it, sir.
Yeah, because here you have been very clearly mentioned that to split up that one. So when you keep one thing in mind, guys, when you are splitting with something, that character will not present when you're trying to split the string. Now you are splitting with the is, right? So now it will split into two things, my name and Mona. So it was splitting that this side and this side, but is will be not printed. So now the delimiter is that. So now how the space, if you're taking a space delimiter, by how the space will be not printed, if you taken any character, means now here my name is Mona, right? So is a delimiter here. So that is how we first mention here. Instead of the delimiter means comma space, we have been mentioned is. So that's where it's splitted as my name and then Mona. Okay, that's how the splitting has been happened. But only one check I wanted to see that yes, M is there, right? So yeah, that is what I even M also should come in the next line. But why M has been joined with that one, I didn't understand. Fine. Anyways, just ping me that code. I'll just try to do the debug and then I'll keep you posted.
Okay. She has used the for each, right? So can you explain like
how the for each works?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll explain about that. Actually, we do when we go for the collections. Most of the time we will be using this for each and then iterables. So there I'll give you the explanation of the for each. And okay, if you give me if you wanted to see the for each explanation here, can mean the okay. So Vignesh, can you write this just a simple for each? Can you
sure.
stop sharing?
Chris,
Mona?
Chris,
Okay.
hello?
Yeah.
Hello? In Mona's that script, I think why it is coming M means she defined uh, another variable, like she didn't use the one which she has to use. That's why it is not splitting.
Oh, I'll check that code, Sai. Okay. Already it's there, right? You just keep a debugger pointer for line number 25. So we will show.
Can I make it a simple like here?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Either ways is fine.
Yeah.
See, for each is nothing but means what is the difference between a for and for each? So if you wanted to understand the difference between them, in for you will be having the initialization, and you'll be having the condition, and then you'll be having the increment, and then for loop body. So these are the syntax of a for loop. But whereas the for each, the name itself, it was saying that for each means this is purely for the iteration. Now, if you see, string words is one string, means just we are doing the declaration of a string. Okay, and where this particular words need to iterate means on the S arrays. So now always for each would be used when we are using arrays or array lists, or if you have any particular data structure which it will have a bulk of data. So to iterate on that particular group of data, we will be using the for each. So for each can be used only for the iteration purpose. And in this particular if you have a group, means if you have an array of elements, or if you have a list of elements, then in that particular data structure we use the for each. So this is the basic difference between a for condition, sorry, for loop, and then a for each for each loop. Now let's see how this will be happens. Now, yeah, get into the debug mode and then run. Now, if you see here, line number 23, it will have 1, 2, 3. Means now we are trying to split that particular string with the space. Now, into this particular string array, what it should happen? So now it should have 1, 2, 3. So 3 numbers has to be split and then it should be stored. So now how it will be stored? So we will see in means a watch, and then we will see, so that it will be easier to understand how for each will work for us. Now, first add
Yes, array, right?
just yes array,
Okay.
and then we will add one by one so that it would be very
Yeah,
much clear
sure.
for all. So now in the S, I have 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Now, yes. So this is, if you see, and if you expand that array, so now the ID equal to 27, that is a memory allocation it happened. Now, if you see here, in this particular array, 0, 1, 2, 3. So already in the 0, it have 1, and the 2, it has in the index of 1, and 2, we have the index of 3. Now, if you see here, we have discussed yesterday, the arrays are continuous memories allocation. So if you see here, ID equal to 29, ID equal to 30, ID equal to 31. So this is how it would be fetching out from the memory allocation. Now, what it will try to do, now we are, means already we have been splitted. The split action is also completed, because in line number 24, we splitted into array. Now, whatever that S split dot space on the right hand side, get that value and loaded into the left hand side. Now, in that particular S array, I have all these particular 3 elements. If you see here, as soon as I kept the marker, we can see that 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Now we got this. Now what we can do now, go for F6. Now add that sword also. Yeah.
Yes.
Add to the watch. Now when you come here, till now it was not yet initialized. F6. Now you see the swords have 1. So now what it will be printing? Simple. It iterates and then it will print the 1. Now see, swords not, it didn't have anything. Now F6, it taken the second value 2, and then the same value which we are trying to print over there, the swords has been printed, and the third time it have the 3. Now what you need to understand from this one is, as we declared a variable, it was iterating in this particular array and fetching the value of, means for the first index, means there if you see here in the for loop, what we used to do, we used to take off array of 1, means array of 1, instead of 1 we are passing the I, means the counter value we will be passing it. Array of I means array of 0, 1, 2. That's how we are fetching the values from the array. But here what it was happening is, by default Java will be taking care of this one. We no need to worry about this. So that array of 0, array of 1, so that indexing and everything was taken care by the for each. So with this one, this is very faster and simpler to use this one, and the ease of use is very high for the for each. So that's the reason whenever we are iterating in any particular list or iterating in any particular arrays, we will be using the for each. And the syntax of for each is, it's very simple. It means if you wanted to iterate in any integer, so you'll be having int, that counter value, and whatever the list is there, so that is a colon, means it was saying that in, means that colon is saying that in which thing I need to iterate. So that S arrays is a list or an array. So now this word will go and iterate each word and fetch that particular, it will access that particular data, and then it will try to print it over here. So that's how the for each will work for us. So is it clear? I'll resume it back. Yeah, Vig. Okay, now my question is, after line number 13, can I print something? If anyone says no, say me. If any knows, I can talk to them. All is no knows at all. So can I
No,
print?
Chris. No,
Yeah.
Chris. After return statement, you we cannot write.
Okay, Joshi says no. Any other one?
Repeat the question, Chris. I didn't.
After the line number 13, can I write any statement? Can I print something?
No, Chris. I think once
No.
it returns,
Yeah. No, Chris.
So that's what the thumb rule. So after the return statement, you can't write any piece of code. After the break statement, once you return the break, you can't write any code of statement. And after the return statement, you can't write any code. Then you will get the error saying that unreachable code. So that's the error message you'll be getting it. Never ever try to write the code after you are written. You'll not understand. So be cautious. No, we shouldn't write, because that's an unreachable code. Now, the written is the last step. Whatever things you wanted to do in this method, written that one means I will be just throwing that particular ball. Someone need to capture, right? That is what it was happening in the line number 23. So the method is returning something, and you need to catch that particular value. So that is what you have been captured in the line number 23, and it should be the same data type. Now that's the reason, if it is in Python or other thing, the story is different, but here it is dynamically statically typed, right? So that's the reason it will be cached. By the way, what is this? Did I explain the dynamically typed and the statically typed languages?
No, Chris.
No, Chris.
Okay,
I
Vignesh,
think
what is dynamically typed and statically typed languages?
Sorry.
Okay, no, not a problem. Not a
Python
problem.
is dynamically typed and Java is statically typed, right?
What do you
And
meant by that?
you said it. I don't remember exactly. I'm trying to remember, but you said it. You said it. Python is dynamically typed.
See,
You are
Chris,
talking about compiler and step-by-step
interpreter. No.
interpreter. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that
No,
is
no,
different.
no, no.
Compiler
Yeah, okay.
interpreter is different.
Okay.
Statically typed and dynamically typed means, can you declare a variable without a data type here in Java?
Correct. Yeah, that's a point.
no, we have.
But in Python we can do it.
Python, we don't want it at all.
Correct.
We can define the variables without having the data types.
Okay.
And if you see in Python, there are lots and lots of differences you can find it out. See, what is the size of an integer here? There, they don't have the static size. Dynamically, it will change the sizes. Everything is dynamic there. At the runtime, it will changes all. So that's it's a dynamically typed language. Here, this is this one. The range means what are the different data types we have it in Java? For only for whole numbers, what are the data types?
Totally 8.
What are the data type for the whole numbers?
Whole numbers long,
Int long, double.
then
Then long, short also.
short,
Dub,
Int,
not
and long.
long.
These are the thing. The float and double, those were for the decimal numbers.
Decimal. Okay.
For in Python, we'll have only one. In int, they will have int. In int, whatever the short or integer or long, so to 15, 16, 20 digits also, you can put it into one digit. And they have only one float. Only they have in numbers, they have three only. One is int, float, and then complex numbers. Complex numbers are nothing but imaginary numbers. So we do have J, those things are right. So those are the complex numbers. So there are lots and lots of differences in terms of memory allocation, or in terms of the variable declarations or method declarations, and it will support for the multiple inheritance, where Java will not support the multiple inheritance. So the complete the concept of interfaces means, why I'm talking about the interfaces means, you are going to learn Selenium, right? Complete Selenium is an interface. If you don't understand what is an interface, can you understand what you meant by Selenium? Definitely not. But Python will not use interfaces at all, but Python have the implementation with Selenium. So that's where you need to understand how these things are happen. But however, it is not, as of now we are not doing with the Python. I was giving the sessions in the afternoon for one of the team members, so that's where I was so keen, I was working on the board, so I have that particular differences to be bring up. So that's how. So as this is a statically a typed language, always you should, even in the written variables and the returning the method, for returning the method also we are mentioning that, boss, I'm going to return integer only, I'm going to return the string only. So that is what we are going to inform in the in the method that 12 to 14. So we are saying that, and then we are returning it, and we are capturing that particular value in the line number 23. So these are the three different types, and hope you have gone through. My understanding is you guys has been gone through the method session, which I have been recorded and placed in the group. So where we have been completely detailedly talked about how to access the static methods and non-static methods and all these things. And how I'll access the non-static methods, Arif? To another class? Okay, Kavya, can you tell me how I should access the non-static methods into another class?
Non-static methods into by creating an object of that class.
Really?
Yes, Chris.
If you are sure, then why you are worrying, Kavya?
No,
Even if I ask the same question again, also you should say yes. This will create the object. And how I'll access the static methods?
Method using the name of the method.
In the same class, I'm using the same method. But if I'm trying to call from the different class, if I wanted to call this method into
Okay,
different class,
using the class name and the method name.
that's it, guys. You shouldn't forget this thing. This is very, very, very important. And with this, if you don't answer this one, then there is no point proceeding further with the interviews too, because this is a very basic thing, how to access the static variables or the static members from one class to another class, and non-static members to one class to another class. So this is the basic thing which we need to understand. And I'll come to the topic, the why we need to define static and why we not to define the static variables. So these all things we will be discussing in the oops. Once we enter into that one, we'll discuss about it. Okay. So any questions around this this particular methods? Are we clear?
Actually, I didn't understand that return. What is that return? Can you please explain?
Sure. So can
Why
you
you
stop?
will use that return and where we'll use?
Sure.
Actually, I don't know meaning also.
Which meaning?
That return, like why we'll use that return and where we will use.
Okay, I'll explain it. Can you stop sharing screen? Can I define a method inside a method?
No.
Shruti?
You can call a method, but I don't think you'll be able to define.
Sai?
No.
See, the most important factor, when I was first time learning the Java, so I used to create a method inside a method, and always it throws me the error. Main is also a method. I'm trying to create a method in a method, then I don't know how to debug, and the error message also it was not able to understand. Never ever keep it in mind. In a class, it can consist of multiple methods, and it's a group of methods you can call, and you can access one method into another method, access, but not creating one method into another method. Always you should keep this in mind. And always static methods can be called inside the static methods only. That's a basic thumb rules we shouldn't forget. Okay, now I'll do this public static int add. I'll have int a comma int b. To make it very easier, I have been taken this one.
Chris, sorry to interrupt. So, like, what is the reason behind that? Can't we create inside the method of a method?
That's a syntax.
Okay, syntax. Okay,
That's
Java
a
has
syntax.
rules. Yeah.
Java
Okay.
rules, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay, see now this is like something, so you know the English grammar, right? How to use participle or present tense, future tense. That's a rules and regulations of syntax which we need to from for. The same way the Java has a language, that language will have certain rules and regulations we need to use. Now, why we need to use the semicolon at the end of the statement? So those are the things which we need to follow. That's a
Yeah.
syntax and the rules which we define by the Java. Okay, see, Sai. Now what it want to do is, for an example, now as soon as I created this one, I didn't added this return method. So now what it happened, you see, it was asking me, boss, try to go and add a return statement. Now if I do void, what do you meant by void? Void is nothing but, for example, I'm not going to do anything, or you're not going to, means this method is not going to return anything. Then we will be adding that particular void. Why should we return a value? For an example, in this method, I'll do step 1, step 2, step 3, and I have an output. This output I need to send it to to somewhere, so that they will take that and then they will proceed further. For an example, you remember when you wanted to understand this one, you have a race, 100-meter race, or in Olympics, the people used to carry that lantern and then they will run, right? Now, the output of this method should be the input of the next method. Simple. The output of this method, I'll be taking it and I'll be using as an input of next method or somewhere else I wanted to use it. Why it will give me an output? Because it will perform some action, boss, and it performs some action and then it will gives me something, the processed output, so that you can take that output and then you need to use it. Now when I was giving that particular output, I should say that, means as this is a statically typed language, I should say that what is the output data type. Is it a string, or is it an integer, or as it is an float or boolean, what it was trying to return. So then I'll be writing that data type over here. Oh, I'm going to read, means I'm going, means by seeing this one, by seeing this method's heading itself, I should be able to understand that, oh, this method is returning me an integer. If I have been written here float, then I can understand that, oh, this is going to return me a float. So if I have written the string, so then I'll be understanding that, oh, this method is going to return me a string. S should be capital, string is a class. This is how we will be identifying. So as of now, I'm trying to perform an addition. So now I know that I'll be having the int. So that's the reason we do have 3 different types of methods. If your method is, if your method wanted to return something, then you'll be using this return method. If your method is not returning something, then you have normal method. And if your method don't have the parameters, then it is normal method. If your method have the parameters, then it is called as parameters method. Okay, so these are the 3 different type of methods we discussed. And there is another type of method is also there, which is method overloading. Anyways, this method overloading we will discuss as part of our polymorphism. Okay, this would be another interesting topic, so which we will be discussing in the future. So now here, coming back to here, now I wanted to return this one. So now what I'm trying to do here, so first thing, when you have been defined here, immediately what you need to do is you need to add the return. So now what I need to do, so just if you place on this error message, it will ask add the return statement. So now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to add the return statement. In the return statement, we need to say that what I wanted to return the value. So now what I'll try to do, I'll do a small thing, int c equal to a plus b. See now what I'm trying to do, I'm just whatever the value it was coming to this method, whatever value a and b I'm getting the value, I was just processing the value here, and the output is c. So now what I'll try to do, I'll try to return c. Well, before writing it, I'll try to print here SYSO saying that my C value is semicolon. I'll give it and C. I'll print it here. Now I wanted to call this method over here, right? Now what is this method? Add. Now while I'm calling this method, so now I need to pass the values for this because that's a static method. Directly I'm calling that static method over here. Now what I need to do, I need to call my method values, right? So I'll give it like a 50 comma 100. Okay, I given the 50 comma 100. Will this execute and then give me the output? Will it execute and give me the output?
Just
Yes.
to add mm, you have to add a variable to it, right? Like, but you okay? You have given a print statement in that method itself.
Yes, it will execute it. Let's
Okay,
see. We will debug the program and then we'll see it. Okay.
it'll do.
Now we will see how this will works for us. Okay. Now as soon as we come here, we wanted to go inside the method. So now if see you seen it, right? The cursor. So if you understand, right, what is into method, step into. If I click in the F6, then it will be going for the step over. Now what I did, I have been clicked step into so that it went into this add method. So now what I passed, I have been passed 50 and then 100. Now if you see here, the value of A, if you see here, the value of A is 50. The value of B is 100. See now we have been passed, right? So here 50, 100. So this, what is this called is, this is called actual parameters. This is called formal parameters. So now what we are doing is into the means now, and so now the same way I can pass it for 200, 300, 400, or I can call this method for some 1,000 times also, and I can pass this particular values 1,000 times also. Now as soon as I entered into this one, the value of A is 50, the value of B is 100. Now what is the value of C?
150.
As of now it is null,
Okay.
because still now the statement is not executed.
Yeah.
Now as soon as I clicked F6, now you see the value of this one is 150. Now what it will happen, it went to the print statement and it will try to print me that print statement. So my print statement also printed, and I'm trying to return the value. See, I'm written the value also, and the program is executed, done. You return the value. What is the purpose of the returning? See now this is like a catch miss.
Yeah.
So you throw, means you thrown a ball, but the fielder didn't catch the ball. It's a catch miss. Now I need to catch this one. So how I should catch this one? Then means what is the return type of this one? This method? What is the return type of this
Int.
method?
Integer.
So now I need an integer. So now what I need to have, the int, this int, right? Int value equal to, or you can write it as int result equal to add. So now you will have the value into this one. Now you can print sy so, and here you can write that. So my result value is, so now this, I'm using this shortcut key. So if you see here, the result, it was printing it as 150. Now what we try to do, so means here this first print statement has been executed this, and then it has been printed here. And the second statement, so we are taking this method and then storing the value into this integer, and then we are taking this integer and then we are trying to print it. So this is how we will be getting the print value. So this is how a method can return a value. Once after doing the execution, it returns the value and it stores the value into this, and then we are trying to print this particular value over here. Got it? So this is called a return method. So method have the capability to return, and I'll take this particular value and then I can use it wherever I wanted to use that. I'll be using that value. Enough, right? So this is how we'll be getting it. Guys, just give me 1 second. Okay, cool. So cool. So now this is how the return method works. Any questions, guys? Is it not easy? So now what you can do, you can define some more things also like this. So now you can write 100 times, and you can call this one as 2, and you can call this one as 3, you can call this as 4, and here you can call it as some value, and here you can call this some value, and you can call this as some value. Probably it might throw some error because the size of integer might be changed. And here you have 5.
Because if we provide the values inside the method itself, then first it will execute that, or
See now, okay, it means you mean to say that you are not means passing these values, but you are just passing the values like this. So I'll take the same method here. I'll print here. I'll not pass this method values, and here I'll pass like int a equal to 250, and int b equal to 350. Insert. Okay, this is how you are asking, right? So
yeah.
now this method I can call here int method overloaded. Okay, I'll keep some of this int result out ml. And I can don't worry, I'll explain the code. Now, if you see here, the first question to answer for Joshi, if you see here, my result value. So first my C value will be printed. See, my C value is 600. C value. This is a method, first method we have been called. Okay. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll do the debugging so that it would be much more easier to get understand for all. Okay. Now, if you see here, when I start doing the debugging, so now I'll use, I came here, right? Now my cursor is here. Okay. I wanted to go into this particular method. So now what I need to do, F5. As soon as I clicked it, it went to add method. You seen it, right? This is the add method. It went to inside this one. Now, what is the value of, means it was going to return the C. Now, as of now, I don't have the C value. I have the A value. So now if you see the A value for here, A value is 250. Okay. And I'm adding the B. The B value, come on. B value. Oh, I'm adding the same thing. We need to select this, right click and add to the watch. B value is here. So now when I click F6, see the B value is 350. Now I wanted to get the C value, right? See the C value is 600. Okay, it is printing the C value. So now the statement is print. Now it was going to return what? 600 it was going to return. Now where the value of 600 will be stored? See, as of now in this ML, written ML, I'm sorry. So if you see in that written ML, so in this particular written, the value of 600 will get it in add method, and then this 600 will be loaded into this. Now, once we have that 600, it was trying to print over here. Okay, this is how this method will work. Now we do have these all values, right? So these all values it will be taken, and then it will start printing for us. So these all values also printed. If you see here, the C values, all C values you are seeing it. So first it taken the 150, addition of this 50 plus 100 is 150, and the addition of this number with this number, this is a value. And for this value addition, this value addition, this value addition, all C values has been printed. And at last we have one print statement with result value. If you see here, this is 150 plus, we have been given all the plus, right? Here it will not add, it's a concatenation string, the concatenation of the string. So now it taken 150, then 15250, 15250, then 121, 121, 650. And then here 121, 121, and 50. So this is how the values has been appended from here. All these values has been appended, and then it went through. So this is how this would be work for us, and this is how we will be printing the screen over here. Got it? So this is how the methods would be created and then discussed about it. Oh, it's already 10:40, guys. I'm very sorry. I'm not seeing the time. So when I was doing the debugging, yeah, I'm very sorry. Yeah. Any questions around this?
Chris, one doubt. Like, this is like parameterization, right?
Mm.
So, what is the basic difference between arguments and the parameters? Can we? Is the term only, or is
it's just a term
different?
but
Term
if it
only,
is
right?
if you go for Python, there is a difference for this one.
Okay.
Because we do have keyword args, the keyword arguments.
Mhm.
So though there we will be having the differentiation, but in Java you don't have the differentiation. You
Okay.
can call that's a synonym in Java: arguments, parameters. These things.
Okay.
Variables are different, but parameters are different. What is
Yeah.
the difference between a variable and a parameter?
Parameters, if it is, I mean, from my thought, I can say like variable is declared as global or like local. Parameters, that is a we can say always a local variable.
It's not like that. See, now
Yeah.
variables are the variables will be converted into the parameters. The
Okay.
parent is variable,
Okay.
and then parameters are the subset of the variables, right?
Okay.
See, now
Okay.
you define these are the variables, right? Int variables.
Yes. Yes.
And then these will become the parameters. So now when you are passing the values, then it became the parameters.
Mm-hmm.
And then you are using into the methods. So always
Yes.
the parameters are a subset of the variables.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
fine.
Thanks,
Any
Chris.
guys, any more questions around this one? Okay, what's next? Because we need to jump for I need to jump for another session. So what next you need to do here is go for the constructor class. Okay, so now immediately we need to do two things. One, we need to learn about what do you meant by constructor. Okay, before going to the constructors, you need to go through what do you meant by method overloading. Because if you need to understand what do you meant by method overloading. Then if you understand the method overloading, then you should know what is a constructor and what are the different type of constructors. Guys, this is very important topics. If you miss this particular topics, you will not understand any other further things. Okay, this means see, as when you're learning a new language, so how you learn the alphabets and how you learn words, and then how you learn paragraphs and the grammar, and then you learn the you can start writing the paragraphs, right? The same way, if you wanted to write that particular programs, you should learn all this. the operators, conditions, loops, and then understanding the grammar. So now this is where you are now. Now the grammar unit means the rules and regulations you need to understand, right? So how to use the static, non-static, and where to use this one. So even that particular rules and regulations are given by OOPS. So now, do you remember in English we do have separate concepts? Means especially you need to know about some means nouns, pronouns, and these things. The same way, to learn this particular language, you should know about these particular OOPS concepts. So in this one, if you wanted to learn the OOPS concept, the basic thing you need to understand is what is an object, what is in a class, and then once after the object, a class, then you should know what is a method and what do you meant by a constructor. So now these are the things which we will be we will be using in the OOPS concept. Directly we can't jump into what do you meant by polymorphism, what do you meant by inheritance. So before going to that one, if you understand these basic pointers, so that it would be very much easier to understand the terminology, to have it in the same page. Okay, follow this particular order. See, as of now I'm doing nothing. You guys are learning and you guys are implementing it, and wherever you get the stuck, I'm just helping you out, but I'm just showing you the direction in which way you need to learn. So which is the most important thing which you need to understand. So if you understand that what I should learn first, what I should learn next, if you understand that particular concept, then it would be much more easier. So as part of that particular journey, so you need to now, before jumping into the OOPS concepts, you need to understand what do you mean by overloading, constructors, and different type of constructors. Once we have been done with this, then we will start with the polymorphism. So that is what our roadmap. Okay, guys, are we clear? Any questions around this? Okay, thanks guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day. And then let's catch back tomorrow with this particular implementation of what do you mean by method overloading, constructor, and different constructors.
Thanks
We
a
do
lot.
have these videos available in the repository. You can refer in our repository to have the videos.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Sure.
Thank you, Chris.
Someone is asking me questions.
Yeah, Chris, I wanted to know, like, if there is a video for this.
Yeah, it's there.
You
It's
answered
already
it.
there.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
sure.
Right. Nice.
See you all. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too have a nice day, Chris. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Sir,
Yeah, hello.
my network is so system is off. The Lana tomorrow workout.
So you need to go through these three items, Mona. So anyhow, just you can you can group with your buddies also. Method overloading, constructor, and different type of constructors. So these are the things which you need to go through for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, guys. So as usual, you guys has been waited for a long time. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, we are doing that debugging, and then I didn't watch out that particular time. Okay. Can someone give me the quick walkthrough, means where we are, what we need to do it?
Yesterday we gone through severity and priority, and today we have to go through test plan and
Test strategy.
test